Hi, in this video we'll be going over the continuation of the csharp.net video tutorials. So in this video we have two source files that you'll need if you're following along. So I have this file, it's called MainForm. So I've taken form1.cs and I've changed the name. So I've shown how to do that in the playlist and set everything up. So I recommend watching all the videos to just kind of go over all the concepts, because I refer to things from past videos as well. So just try to follow along. If you're stuck, maybe go back. Okay, so the playlist is on my channel, csharp.net. So we have here mainform.cs. I've changed the name. There's nothing in the code right now. So just the form here. I've just used the toolbox to add a group to the form, and I changed the text property to select a food, and then I've added some radio buttons so that can be found if you're using Rider. I think it's pretty much similar in Visual Studio. So this one in Rider, it's systems.windows.form, so it might be called something else. So I think for radio buttons you do need a group, so I've included a group. Then I've added the three different radio buttons here. So the first radio button, it's called, let's just see what it's called, sorry I forgot the name here. So it's called Banana Radio Button. The next one's called Popcorn Radio Button. And the last one is called Muffin Radio Button as well. So then I've changed the text property for all of them, changed the size properties, maybe auto size, maybe not for these. And then I've just, maybe a few more things, you can add whatever you want. I've added a button to the bottom, it's called Display Button. And I've changed the text property to Display Food Facts. I think I might have set auto size to true on that one, and then also set the size. I've changed the font property here. I've changed the font sizes for these as well. So I think that's it. There's another source file. This one's called Nutrition Form. So I've shown how to create a secondary multi-form project in the previous videos as well. Then here there's another form. These are just labels. I've accidentally clicked one, which I'll try to fix later on. Okay, so we have here, for example, excuse me. We have a label here, just called food label. I've changed the border style to fixed single and changed the text property as well to a bigger size. I've just copied and pasted the label all the way down for them. That way you just have to change the name property and the excuse me, and the text property. So this one's called food label. The second one is calories label. Third one is fat label, and the fourth one is carb label. Actually, sorry, there's a button missing here actually. Okay, so we'll just add that one. So I'm just going to create well, you can do it from the properties window, you can code it, or you can just drag it like that. Okay, so I'm going to add a button here. I'm just going to click the toolbox on the side. I'm going to select button and then just click on the form. The button should pop up. I'm just going to resize it with the mouse. Or you can use the properties window, or you can just code it. We've done all three in the tutorials. So I'll just use the mouse here, and then I'll change the text property. Actually, first we'll change the identifier, so the name property. We'll change that one to close button. Actually, we don't really need that. well, we can just do it. We're already here, so close button like that. So close button, and then we'll change the text property to close. We'll change so I'll click the font property, then I'll click the ellipsis button. Then I'll change the size. I'll change the size to something normal. Actually, I don't know, is that even the right property? Okay, it did work. That's still too small. So we'll just make it a bit bigger here. 36 is fine. So if it doesn't fit, you can use auto size, or you can just set that to true. Okay, so then after that, that should be fine. So now let's do the code. There's going to be an error somewhere because I accidentally double click this food or something, one of the labels. I'll have to go back into the other file and find the red line. So we'll do that later on. Well, I will. This is what happened. I clicked that and the label popped up already. I'm just going to delete it for now. Hopefully that doesn't start an error already. Okay. So we have this. You should be set up now, so we'll just start with the code. Okay, so we'll go to the nutrition form to start, I think. Let me just double check. Yeah, so I think we're going to start in the nutrition form file first. Okay, so there's nothing here really except for the button. So that's going to be nutrition form here. I don't think we really need to update anything right now from this file, except for the button. So we'll just go to the constructor here. I'm just going to add something here, so we'll say, I think we said close button, that's what we called it. I'm going to say dot click plus equals new close button underscore click. Sorry, no, my bad. New event handler. And we'll pass in close button underscore click. So then we'll go under this event. We'll go under the constructor. We'll create the event handler now. So we'll say private void close button underscore click. We'll pass in two parameters: object sender comma event argc. All we have to do is just reference the form, so we'll just reference the form with this and then dot and then close like that. So we'll just call the close method, which will just close the form. So that's the Microsoft's built-in method for .NET. It's just going to close it just basically just closes the form when you call it on this keyword. You can probably close other things too, but right now we're just going to close the form. So it's just a simple exit button like that. Okay, so we'll go to the other file now, I think. So this one's going to be the display button, so that's this one here. We're going to click that and then update this we're going to get the data and see which one's checked. So I think we're going to have to do something here. Actually, no, I was thinking that I haven't done radio buttons for a few tutorials since we discussed them a while ago. So you don't need to, I don't think you need to create an event for them. If not, we'll figure it out, but we're just going to need the button for now. So just the display button. So go to the code here. I'll get the button again. We'll do the same thing basically, so we'll go display button dot click, because we want the click event for the button. So we'll go plus equals new event handler. Pass in object Actually, no, sorry. This, no, what are you passing in here? We're going display button underscore click. Then underneath here, we'll go with private void. We'll say private void display button. Actually, no, sorry. Yeah, actually, that should be correct. Display button underscore click. And we'll take parameter object sender comma event argc. Okay, so we'll have so first we'll instantiate an object of the nutrition form class. So this is just a classic object instantiation, just your normal OOP stuff. So just this one's gonna have no parameters. So we'll have nutrition form. We'll just call it. We'll just go with nutrition form camel case. Points to new nutrition form. So we'll reference the class again. No parameters. Okay, so now we'll check if the radio button is selected. So here we'll just go. So we'll reference the banana radio button. Dot. Then we should have some methods that are available, so we'll use the checked method. So that's just a built-in Microsoft method that you can use to check if the radio button is selected. So you don't actually need to create an event handler, I guess, for those. So if banana radio button dot checked is a boolean, so returns true or false. So if it's true, then here we'll say that we want to. So what we're going to do here is something we may have not done because we're now doing multi-form apps. So in this case here, we're going to reference the object that we want. So what do we want to do? We want to, so if the banana button is selected on, or sorry, yeah, so if the banana radio button is selected on this form, then we want to update the other form. So we're taking one window, we're getting the data from it, and then updating the other window by passing data to the other window. So in this case, we're just going to reference the object that we want, because remember, nutrition form is from this file here, not this one, this one. So we want to update these labels. These aren't buttons, they look like buttons, but they're labels. This one's a button. So you excuse me, sorry. So to update or to access a control, it's kind of like a method. Like when you call a method from another class, you have to reference the object's class to access the instance data. So that's what we're doing here. In this case, the instance data is actually the labels and the buttons, kind of. Well, pretty much. That's what it is. Well, it is, because yeah, so it is. So in that case, then here we just have to reference the object, the other form's object, to call its controls. So all we have to do here is just say nutrition form dot. Once we call it dot, then we'll have access to a bunch of things. Like for example, we should have access to food label. It's not coming up in the IntelliSense for some reason, but it works because it went purple. It should work. And we'll say dot text, and then we'll point it to, for example, one banana as a string. Unless I named it wrong, so let me just go back to the other form here. So this is in the display button dot underscore click. So we have your nutrition form, so that should be fine. So now we'll just go to the other form here, and I'm just going to see if that's the, so we want the food label here, so just check if that spelling is correct. Okay, so it's actually not, for some reason it's still highlighted red. So let's just see why. Oh, it's private, okay. It's set to private. That's why, yeah. So if we can just change that to public, then it should work. Whoops. Okay, so the thing is, the label was done in the drag and drop, so that might be the problem. The docs are showing that here as well. Okay, so here the modifier is private, so that's probably it here, so we'll just change that to. We'll just change that one to public, so that should work. Okay, yeah, so that one works now, so we'll probably just do that for the rest of them as well. So I'll just click the calories label and then change the modifier as well to public. I'll do the same for the rest of them. You'll have to do that if you're accessing another form, which makes sense, because csharp will automatically create, it'll automatically instantiate your controls with private. So we'll just change them to public. So if it's private, then other forms or classes, any files, it won't be able to access them. So it kind of just makes it more secure. So we'll just change this one to public as well. Is that still private? Okay. And then this one, the button, we'll change that one to, actually, not sure if we need that, we'll just change it just in case. Okay, so we'll just go back to this. So we'll go back to the MainForms display button underscore click. We're back at if banana radio button dot checked. Then here we set the nutrition form. We set the nutrition form's food label dot text property to the string 1 banana. Okay, so we'll change the next one to so we'll change the calories label here as well, so we'll reference the object from nutrition form. And we'll say dot. Now the IntelliSense is getting the rest of the labels. So I'm just going to type calories label. Dot text property, so we want to reference the text property. We want to point it to, for example, a string. So we'll just set this string to some number of calories. And then here we'll reference the other labels here, so we'll say nutrition form. Dot fat label. Dot text points to, for example, like 0.3. For the next one here, we'll say nutrition dot. Nutrition form dot carb label. Dot text points to, for example, like 20. That should be set up, so then we'll do the rest for the rest of them. So now remember a radio button works as a group. So if one's checked, that means, if one's not checked, then another one might be checked, so then we'll go here else if. So we'll say else if nutrition. Nutrition form dot food label dot text points to popcorn bag or whatever. So here we'll say nutrition form dot calories label dot text property points to, for example, some number. It's probably not accurate, but let's go here. Okay, so we'll go down here to, for example, actually I'm not sure of how many calories popcorn has. So here we have nutrition form dot, we'll go to the next one, fat label dot text property points to. We'll just set it to some fat, maybe there's butter in it, so we'll just go 1 gram. So then here we'll go to the next one, nutrition form dot carb label dot text points to, for example, some number of carbs. Probably not that much. So if this radio button is selected, if the banana radio button is not selected, and the other one is not selected, then the last one would be selected, I believe. So I think you can just use else if as well. Something wrong with that here. Missing a okay, so we have if statement, then if again, else if. We'll just go with this for now. Actually, sorry, we could just use I think we actually might need the check property here, so we'll just go back here, or the method here. So we'll go with else if popcorn radio button dot checked. So if it is checked, then we'll do this, and then down here we'll go with else if muffin radio button dot checked. And we'll say that the nutrition form, we'll just set all the text properties again. So dot text sets to, for example, we'll just set the string to 2 large blueberry muffins. Whoops. And we'll set the rest of the labels here, so we'll say nutrition form dot calories label dot text points to some number. Next one here, we'll go with nutrition form dot fat label dot text points to some number. Then here we'll go with the last one, nutrition form dot carb label dot text property. Oops, sorry, that one wasn't camel cased. Points to, for example, just whatever, just for example purposes. Okay, so everything should work, but when I run it, there might be an extra event handler which I'll have to find, and that was generated by clicking, so I'll have to find it if it doesn't work. So I'll just explain to you what's going to happen. You won't see the pop-up, but I'll just explain. I'll show you what's going to happen here. So I'm just going to save it and run it. You should see this form pop up if you're doing it in your IDE, so it's going to say just like a pop-up window, select a food, 3 radio buttons to choose from in a group. Okay, yeah, so there's an error now. It's like food label.click, that's the one that I clicked, and now it's wondering where it is. There is a version of csharp.net that uses XML that's newer than kind of this way to design them. I think it may have came out after 2017. My program was created in 2017 or something, or maybe just slightly earlier than that. So you guys can check that out. Maybe we may talk about it later on if we do some more advanced things. At this time we won't be. We'll be moving on to JavaScript. Okay, so we have here, we'll just go to, I'm just going to try to find this file. Food label.click, and if you're interested in that, ChatGPT will know. Just ask it, how can I use XML with C#, and it'll tell you. csharp.net. XML is really good, that's what Android uses. It's really easy to use, and it's like HTML as well. I do have some tutorials on that. I'll try to get them uploaded, I just haven't had time, because I didn't do YouTube at that when I took that class. But I'll try to, just 5 apps, we'll try to do it at some point. Okay, so we have here, for example, food label underscore click. I'm just trying to find this file here. nutritionformdesigner.cs. Okay, let me look for that. Designer.cs, that's not it. This one. Okay, so what I'm going to do, if you have the same problem, I'm just going to close all this so I can see. I'm going to click this thing. Windows Form Designer generated code. I'm going to click that. I'm going to look for a red underline. I think I see it right there. Okay, so this one you can just comment it out. I think it's this one here. Food label. This dot food label dot click plus equals new system dot event handler this dot food label underscore click. That's the one that's causing the error. So we'll just comment that one out. Should work now. Let's just save that. I'll go back to the other file and then click run. The app should work now, so hopefully it does. Okay, so the app works. It says select a food. I'm just going to pick one, so I'll just pick 2 large blueberry muffins. I'll click display food facts. Okay, so the other one didn't pop up. Let's just check why. Oh, actually, sorry, I think there's just one more line that we forgot. Okay, so there was underneath, we need the show dialog to pop the other one up. So just stop that, sorry. We'll go to the code here. Underneath this else if block, we'll reference the form object, so we'll just say nutrition form dot, then we'll say show dialog. So now when we click this button, the display button, after you pick the radio buttons, it'll, at the end of that code, then it'll pop up the other window. That's what we were missing. So just save that and run it. It should work this time. Okay, so I'm just going to select the other radio button. You can't see this, but it's just the same form here. I'm going to click display food facts. The other one popped up. So the other window popped up. It tells us that it's a food. It has 400 calories, 4 grams of fat, and 4 grams of fat and 40 calories, and 40 carbs, 400 calories, and 4 grams of fat. So you can pick another one. It'll tell you the nutrition facts for it. You may have to close this one first, but you can do it again. It tells you the rest for popcorn. Also tells you the rest for 1 banana. So that's pretty much it. I think the food label might have been set to food rather than blueberry muffins, but you can change that one. So that's the end of the tutorial. So if you'd like to see the rest of the tutorials, it'll be in the csharp.net playlist. So thanks for watching, guys. If you guys like the video, you can like and subscribe to support the channel for more programming and investing tutorials. In the next one, we'll be moving on to polymorphism and inheritance. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks.